Danielle says, how's your mother and Todd getting along? Not great. Let's see. Friday, they did pretty good. The kids, Ace and Blaze, had graduated from their school. So they was doing pretty good. But by the time I got back from my trip the other day, my mom wasn't. She wasn't feeling me again. She wasn't. She was back to not feeling us. So hopefully it'll change.
What I need to do to fix it, I'm gonna do my best.
Just don't let me catch you. Now let me tell you, ain't no river high enough. Ain't no ocean deep enough. Ain't no desert hot enough to keep me off your ass, baby.
From the moment people heard that Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker were calling it quits, it felt like Mama Joyce was somewhere celebrating, ready to remind Kandi that she had warned her from day one. As soon as the news hit the internet, everyone started digging for clues about what really caused their marriage to fall apart. Things became even messier when Phaedra's name got pulled into the conversation, making the situation feel even more chaotic. According to what's being said, their relationship never had a real chance as long as Mama Joyce stayed involved. She never liked Todd and always believed her daughter deserved someone with more to offer. Most of us thought her attitude would soften after 2 kids and more than a decade together, but that clearly wasn't the case. Mama Joyce still held on to the same frustrations, and it seems like Kandi eventually got worn down by her mother's constant opinions.
Going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing. You know, sometimes, you know, you're cool, you know what I mean? You're moving, you're mixing, you're moving, and you're hanging out with friends. But then sometimes you have your moments of sadness, you know, and me being the Taurus that I am, I like to keep those moments to myself. When I was on Housewives, I really couldn't keep moments to myself when I got upset, so y'all would catch me crying. But in real life, my everyday life, you know, I don't really like for those moments to be shared with the world. So, but I am sharing with my Amazon family today.
Now, it looks like she finally listened to that voice in her ear and told Todd it was time to leave.
1.
Kandi and Todd didn't start off with the smoothest relationship, and their marriage wasn't perfect either. Still, after more than a decade together, raising 2 children and building a successful brand, it looked like they had found a rhythm that worked for both of them. In their line of work, many relationships are built around business, or eventually turn into business partnerships once money and property get involved. Kandi often talked about how choosing Todd was one of the smartest choices she ever made. She even used to proudly mention that they kept things exciting, saying they occasionally brought someone else into their bedroom and that it never caused the problems people warned her
said
about.
threesomes never work. That's not true. I done had a threesome and it worked just fine. It worked great, actually. Anyway, I feel like it's the communication.
Little pussy's just hot. You know?
What are you talking about? I'm just saying it's the communication on it all. But I think that
would you?
Now here we are discussing their divorce and trying to understand what truly happened. The moment the news hit the internet, people immediately started pulling up old videos of Kandi and Todd. And honestly, from what surfaced, it looks like their relationship had been falling apart for a long time. Everything they did in recent years seemed like quick fixes to hold things together. Folks close to them already saw the breakup coming. Even Phaedra Parks wasn't surprised.
When she introduced Kandi to Todd, I told her I could have choked her. All these lawyers and everything else that you know, you gonna introduce her to one of the workers? Yeah, that's why I could choke you right now. But it ended up being good. They got married. Well, Kandi took a lemon and made lemonade.
According to Phaedra, and people who have been close to Kandi for years, the tension between Mama Joyce and Todd always came back to money. And to be fair, Kandi did have far more wealth, businesses, and projects than Todd ever had, but Mama Joyce made the situation 10 times harder by constantly treating Todd like he had no right to be with her daughter. It felt like she punished him for simply falling in love with Kandi, and she never allowed him to forget that she believed he was beneath her. Imagine dealing with that kind of pressure for years. Your mother-in-law calling you a gold digger, questioning your intentions, disrespecting you publicly, and still acting the same way even after you had children together. Even when Todd tried to support Kandi's career and stand by her, Mama Joyce was always ready to turn his mistakes into something bigger and remind Kandi that she could do better. Mama Joyce also accused Todd more than once of being cheap. She often suggested he wasn't willing to put any real money into Kandi's world and that he expected her to carry everything. The tension grew so much that she and Kandi had a major argument before the wedding because Todd initially refused to sign the prenup. And honestly, that prenup was no small thing.
Just letting you know, they have suggested that we call our wedding off.
It's kind of like either you sign it or I don't want to marry you. That's not fair. Let's talk.
I'm asking you to talk. I'm asking you to tell me what is it that you wanted to say.
I want it to become a proper document. He said that.
How is it not a proper document, Todd?
I'm not the attorney.
What is not proper
Let's call the
about it?
attorney. Let's call the attorney and let him talk.
Call him right now, please. I want him to tell me what is not proper.
Come on, let's call him.
Please call him. I'm not sure what Todd's attorney is telling him is abnormal about the prenup. I actually had 2 lawyers to put my agreement together. I'm not sure what they think the problem is, besides that it's good.
Now, we're going back and forth arguing before we're supposed to get married.
Exactly, because we're not going to get married if we don't have no prenup. And we sit up here arguing about some that I don't even understand why we're arguing. Because if you work,
Good.
I work. So I'm not understanding what is it that we're debating.
Kandi was worth around $30 million when they first got together, while Todd had far less. The contract even had one clause Todd supposedly hated, that if they ever divorced, he would have to leave their home in under 30 days. That alone caused a huge fight. And now look at where things stand. Mama Joyce might end up feeling like she was right all along, because there are rumors that Kandi may still have to pay for part of Todd's legal expenses. Word in the streets is that Todd didn't want to file for divorce first because he plans to ask for alimony. Under Georgia law, the spouse who earns significantly more can be ordered to pay support, and Kandi is the obvious higher earner with all her businesses and ongoing income. Todd is even claiming that he doesn't have secure housing anymore since he sold his apartment in New Jersey, which could help his case for temporary financial support while the divorce moves forward. Yes, Kandi's prenup protects what she owned before she married Todd, her properties, her companies, her savings, all of that. But anything they earn together or put into shared accounts is still considered marital property. That means it can be divided. And to make things even more intense, Todd is reportedly thinking about asking for full custody of their children, even though Kandi only requested joint custody. If he follows through, this divorce could turn into a much bigger and more emotional fight. And let's be real, Todd doesn't have the cleanest image either. Years ago, an ex-girlfriend named Mila claimed that Todd only started dating Kandi to get ahead in Atlanta's social scene. She even alleged that he called Kandi a trick because of her wealth. Whether that's true or not, hearing things like that now makes the situation even messier. Either way, the marriage is done, and everyone has an opinion. But one thing is certain, Mama Joyce is probably celebrating somewhere. Many fans feel that Kandi and Todd's relationship turned into more of a business partnership than a loving marriage. Combine that with kids, demanding careers, family drama, and Mama Joyce constantly stirring the pot, and it's not shocking that things eventually fell apart. 11 years of marriage is a long time. They built a lot together and created successful businesses, but the stress never fully went away. Some people say Mama Joyce was completely out of line and treated Todd terribly for no reason. Others believe she was overprotective to the point of being cruel. And then you have folks who think Todd had his own motives from the beginning. But what about you? Do you think their relationship was doomed from day one? Was this all part of a plan Todd set in motion, or just a marriage that couldn't survive the pressure? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.